And then it is playoff time. So yeah, the opening playoffs will be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The way that I saw it, I was supposed to be in Vegas that weekend, but I canceled my trip because of my COVID I got the last time I was there. I just think it's too soon. Not that I get COVID every trip to Vegas, just seems that I've gotten it twice there. Um, Al, how's it going?
Oh, it's going. I've got no complaints. Kind of looking forward to the weekend. Got tickets to the Rose Bowl, and yeah, it's my favorite time of year.
Who's in the Rose Bowl? Is that
Oh,
Michigan
it's
and
Michigan and Alabama. Yeah, it would have been nice if it somehow they could have finagled it to get Michigan play Washington in the Rose Bowl. Just the last Pac-12 Big Ten game. That would have been a nice ending, but you know,
well, the
couldn't
Rose
work out
Bowl
that
will
way.
never be the same anyway, with the new
No,
playoffs and everything, so it
yeah,
doesn't,
the whole thing. But you could have had one last, you know, great matchup, but just didn't work out.
yeah, I think college football has decided in the NCAA that the last thing they care about are great matchups and a quality
And,
product.
tradi- and, tra-
And
and tradition.
yeah, I think all those things have gone out the window. Jay,
I
how's
mean,
it going? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was going to say that used to be what attracted me to college football was the tradition. Like that was why I enjoyed the sport. I think that's why a lot of people enjoyed the sport for the regional rivalries. Pitt, Penn State, or um, you know, uh, and now it's just gone. And now it's just like every other league. And it's just, I mean, I just think it's lost a lot of its charm. Just mine,
Yeah,
but I'm an old guy, so
yeah, but
I'll
I
take
think
it for what it is.
part of it is that the players definitely deserved a piece of the pie, but at the same time, they've gone too far, and it's like, Fran McCaffrey, believe it or not, when they first started the transfer portal, he was the one that said right out of the gate the very first year that, and it was just seniors in the portal. He was the first one to say, he goes, "This is already not going the way people intended it to go." He goes, "This is going to be a problem." And he certainly was 100% right there. I think you throw that in with the image licensing, and now you've got a real mess on your hands. And once again, no one guarding the hen house. And college football boosters have always been the dirtiest of the dirty. And now that you give them a platform to that, it makes it okay. Well, oh man, that's what I've been saying in my videos. A lot of people have been saying, well, they deserve to get paid. They deserve to get paid. They absolutely deserve to get paid. The players absolutely deserve to get paid. There just has to be a structure to it. It can't be this free for all. Even the pro sports don't allow it in this format. Jay, how's it going?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Final
Um,
week of this season. We'll talk about in just a second. Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor in Dallas on Saturday. It's a big day for all of us. Of course, I'm a Jimmy guy as well. So it's big. A lot of ex Canes in that Ring of Honor with Jimmy.
yeah, there is. Hump day, Wednesday, middle of the week. Wind down a little here. New year on the horizon. Like Big Al said, it's a great time of year. NBA, NFL, college football. Just loving it, man. Just trying to keep it rolling.
I just think once the new year passes, and not this Saturday necessarily, but more next Saturday, I think that's when we really kind of get down to it in sports, conference play across the board in college basketball, and that's kind of like really the pinnacle of everything. And we'll have the college football championship game, the end of the NFL season, and all that other good stuff. But we've got Thursday night football, and once again, the the Jets are in prime time. They were just, they couldn't get enough Jets and Giants in prime time this year. So why not one more time? And why not against the surging Cleveland Browns, who under Joe Flacco just look to have found their game, and 10-5 on the season coming into this one. Hard to believe this Browns team could finish 12-5 on the season. Al, what do you think of this game?
I mean, from a handicapping standpoint, for me, I'm sure you guys are going to disagree, but I think this is one of those bottom of the barrel games that I wouldn't play with someone else's money. I just don't like it at all. But we have to pick every game here on our podcast, so I'm going to go with the over. Given how high scoring the Monday and Thursday games have been lately, 13 of the last 17 have gone over the total, including the last 8 played on Thursday night. So No other reason, but I'll take the over 36.5. But like I said, it's bottom of the barrel for me.
Jay, you dipping your toe into the Jets water here?
Yeah, this game is ugly. Ah,
Jay did not like the Browns against the Texans on Sunday. He
I
was
did.
pretty adamant about it, but Mari Cooper decided to actually show up for a game.
We're gonna take the under here. Short week, bad teams, under. Um, Jacoby Brissett's getting the start. Oh no, that's Washington. I'm sorry. I'm completely different basis. But Jets here. No, I can't. They did score some points last week against Washington, and that's why I was thinking Jacoby Brissett because I was thinking Jets playing the Commanders last week. But yeah, Jets scored some points on them boys last week, but we know short week. This team has struggled offensively a lot this year. Cleveland, Flacco, and this offense, they've been solid, but I think this is a run. The Jets defense has been solid. I think this is a run the football defensive style game. The defenses are the best units on both sides of the football field. Under.
I like the Browns all day. I think you lay alternate line in this thing. I know that that these games haven't really set up like that, but we're just at that time of the year. The refs have their flags in the pocket, and it's a good time to take the hard hitting defenses. And I think the Browns clearly the better defense in this one. Go to our next game, and it is that Cowboys game. This game on Saturday, just one game on Saturday this week, one game on Thursday, and then that's it for NFL. So, and of course Sunday, but the Cowboys finally get back home. Was not a great day for them in Miami. Wasn't the refs? Refs have not had a good season, and the Cowboys have been on the brunt of it a few times. But it kind of goes both ways, and you look at it across the board. And believe me, as a Dolphin fan, I saw plenty of plays in there where holding could have been called, and it wasn't called. But that's just it's the nature of the beast. The better who's the better team and who's played the better game that day has very little bearing on the outcome of games. What really has the outcome is who they have predetermined to be the winner. In this one, though, we've got the Cowboys back home against a Lions team that's clinched their division. The Cowboys, they haven't clinched anything, but they're certainly still in the mix for the division and in the mix, definitely for the wild card. I think, do they clinch if they win?
They clinched playoff 2 weeks ago. Dallas did. So they're in the postseason. It's just a matter of they're going to be the 5th seed or the 2 seed now, really.
This could be this could determine where they play and who they play then, and could be a preview of a game that they see down the road. But that game would be in Detroit if they rematched. Jay, what do you think? Cowboys get to the right foot here?
These boys, man, they lost back to back for the second time under Mike McCarthy. They've only done that twice. I think they are after a loss. They are now, I want to say, like 12-2 under Mike McCarthy all time. Or 12-3. Sorry, I want to 12-3 now. Following a loss. The thing is what is the win streak at home? Like 15, 16 games or something. We're a completely different team at home, and it's evident. It is what it is. The numbers don't lie. On the road, we're just not the same offensive team. Defensively, our defense just doesn't seem to be as fast as they are on turf when they go out and play on grass. Home has been home for us. Like we have early when AT&T Stadium was built, people like to say that Dallas didn't have a home field advantage. Well, that is not the case anymore. Yes, we do. We've been dominant at home. We've been dominant at home all season. I think we win this game, man. I think we win it fairly comfortably as well. The Lions, we've seen them struggle in certain games, especially against some good teams. I think where this game is going to be won and lost is the Lions' back end. I think that's where they're weakest, and I think that's where the Cowboys excel. Deep down the field, Dak has made those throws this year. I think he exposes that back end of the Lions defense. 31-17, Dallas. Like Mitch said earlier, it's Jimmy Johnson Day. They're finna do this one big.
I think I think it's for me it's the Cowboys or nothing. I think they absolutely stomped the Lions in this game. Take out some frustration. I think the Lions got a lot of fortuitous calls against the Vikings. I'm gonna take the Cowboys in this one. I think the Lions defense has been suspect all season. This is probably one where the Cowboys really put it together on them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything. I mean, after losing to the Dolphins last week, the Cowboys are now 1-12 ATS, their last 13 on the road versus winning teams that were in the playoffs the previous year. But of course, Detroit wasn't in the playoffs last season, and this game is not on the road, so there's no real reason to go against Dallas here at home. They've actually played well at home, lately versus winning clubs. They're 5-0 straight up, 3-2 ATS. You'll take that every day. And I just look for them to bounce back. Winning teams have gone 41-20 ATS as single-digit home favorites off back-to-back straight up and ATS road losses. So Dallas comes home off those two bad road games. Relatively short number for them at home. I'll lay it.
All right. Up next, we head into Sunday action, and it is the Giants and the Rams. Back to New York football. The Rams have actually quietly been playing some really, really good football, and I think if the Niners go down, I know Jay has got the Niners like penciled in going a very far way, but I got news for you. If the Rams make it to the playoffs and they win their first round game, they'll face off against the Niners at some point in this progression. I would think that they're the team that has a shot to beat them right out of the gate. I think that the Niners are vulnerable, man, and I think that the Rams stack up well against them.
A division foe, they know them better than damn near anybody. I see it.
Big time coaching mismatch too for the Rams over
the thing is, the reason I got the Niners one is because I've seen them smash 2-3 this season. That's why I got them one in the NFC. They smashed 2-3. So you know what I mean. We'll see.
I think the Niners ceiling is higher than everyone else's ceiling.
I don't see it. I don't see it because I don't think the quarterback play is there. You don't have a quarterback that can win you the championship on his own. You don't have that guy that can do it.
On a great day, can the Eagles beat the Niners? Yes. On a great day, can the Cowboys beat the Niners? Yes. But I think if the Niners play both of those teams 100 times, I think the Niners probably win 65.
I think if the Niners play the Ravens 100 times, I think they'd lose 95 of them because they didn't match up at all. It was about as big of a mismatch position by position as I've ever seen. Christian McCaffrey has been running over people and creating big plays in space, was just getting lit up like a Christmas tree, like it was like Texas State against Alabama in college football. I mean, it was just like these little swing passes and just these amateur hour play calls because what the whole idea of the San Francisco West Coast offense is the dinking and dunking and finding the guys in space, and there was no space. And it's like they can't change that because they don't have any other players on the roster that can create space. It's not like one of their playmakers was out. It's not like they were missing Debo, not like they were missing Kittle. It's not like they're missing Ayuk.
I get your argument.
They're missing nobody.
I get your argument about the Niners, but the other side of the coin with the Niners is like, and the Ravens is like, the Ravens have been good against NFC teams. Like the Ravens against NFC teams, they're just dominant. It just is what it is. Their NFC teams are not used to that. So I'm not taking too much into account there.
The Niners lost 3 consecutive games earlier this season. They looked terrible in those games. So it's like they're
But you
hardly
can't take away
unbeatable.
that they smashed the Eagles and smashed the Cowboys. They've
But they
happened.
lost to the Browns, they lost to the Vikings, and they lost to the Bengals.
And we understood what happened. No Debo. And
They
no,
could have, and they also could have won 2 of those 3 games.
so
Well, they weren't going to win on Monday night. That's for damn sure.
I hate the Niners. Everybody knows that, but I'm trying to be a
I just
realist.
think I think they're so overrated. You have a coach once again that's never won anything, and it's like you guys, everybody is so willing to give these guys in today's participation trophy society. They're willing to give these guys the grace, like they give them the benefit of the doubt when they haven't earned that. And it's like
So
it's a different story when the guy has earned the benefit of the doubt. Until they've actually earned it, you've got to earn it on the field.
fair. So, but we know what we do here.
This
Who's
guy
your
was
favorite?
there up by double
Who's your
digits in the
favorite right
fourth
now in the
quarter.
NFC? Who's
He
your
was-
favorite right now in the NFC? Who?
I would say the Cowboys or the Eagles, both over the 49ers.
Oof, and
I can't place the Eagles over anybody at this point.
I can.
If
they get healthy,
as much as I want to agree with you and put my Cowboys above them, I have seen the Niners just take the soul of my team the last 3 times we've played them. So
but now the blueprint is out, and it's out there, and it's we had seen it before, but this time it was just plain ugly. And I think the Rams match up very, very well against them because I don't think the Rams' offensive line is like as good as the Ravens to hold back Chase Young and Bosa all night. But I do think that Stafford has a strong enough arm to get rid of it, that his guys, if they can get downfield at all, are going to make the catches. They're going to make the catches. These guys, the ball that everybody else drops, his guys catch. And it's not because of Stafford. It's because they're just really, really good at catching footballs. They're really, really good. There's been a few guys throughout, everyone's had them. Most of them, a lot of these guys have been white guys. It's not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying Austin Collie was a guy like this for Peyton Manning. I'm saying that Jordy Nelson was a guy like this for Brett Favre and for Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just saying, there's been a few guys out there like this. And then you mix them in with like the Marvin Harrisons and Reggie Waynes, and all of a sudden, you got no freaking chance. And that's what we saw with the Niners. Just no chance whatsoever, man. They got just embarrassed. They got undressed, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We're almost there. We got the Rams here. Can they get in? Is the $1 million question.
I think they're in. I think they win here, and they think they're in. I think the Rams cover against the Giants. I think they beat them up. The Giants are plus 4.5 in this thing. The line's dropping, and I think that's a gift. I mean, why is the line dropping? Because Tyrod Taylor is playing? Ooh, not Tyrod Taylor.
He looked good at the end of that game last week.
So does everybody, man. Everybody's looked good at times. The Jets guy has looked good at times. Does that mean that he's going to beat the Rams?
They got who the Rams got? They got the Giants and they got the Niners next week.
The Niners will need that game more than likely. They have the same record, right? No, actually, they might not need it if they win this week against the Commanders. Anyways, I like the Rams in this one against the Giants. Al?
One of the things I like to do late in the NFL season is play on home underdogs in the final 2 weeks of the regular season if our home team is off a straight-up loss. It's just been reliable. Since 1980, taking home dogs final 2 weeks off a loss, you're 177 and 137 ATS. I'm just not going to go against it. So I'm going to take the Giants plus the points.
I'm taking the Giants plus the points too. I think this Rams team, they're okay, but I still think they're slightly overvalued. Here's the other thing. They've won 4 of their last 5. Shout out to them. They've played well. But they've also just played 3 of their last 4 at the crib. Now they're going out on the road. Giants coming back home. They won their last 2 home games. Like I said, Tyrod Taylor actually looked competent at the end of that last game. I watched it against Philadelphia. I think they actually got cheated. They probably should have had the ball at the 1 on an untimed play for a chance to score 6 and then have a chance to go for 2, in my opinion. But yeah, just cover, baby. That's all I need. I'm not laying 4.5 on the road with the Rams. Give me the Giants. Rams probably walk them off with a field goal late.
Rams have been looking real good lately. You got the 49ers on the road versus the Commanders. After that, I mean, really their most embarrassing game of the season. They got absolutely undressed against the Ravens. But now you're up against the Commanders team that just simply is bad. They did come back against the Jets. They put in Jacoby Brissett. And I think it just shows you that, like, you know, these backup quarterbacks, they have their day. They can look good in spots. But we know Tyrod Taylor's Tyrod Taylor. And we know Jacoby Brissett is Jacoby Brissett. And I think that's the problem here. I think the Niners can win this one, name their number, and I think, you know, they probably have a good time at Brissett's expense. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see some of the injuries that came out of that game. I haven't really had a chance to dig into it, but I'm sure there were plenty. Al, what do you think of this one?
I mean, they're such a huge home dog, 13-point home dog. I think it just is going to lead to a low-scoring game. Home dogs of +7 or more points. They've gone 66 and 35 under the total in the second half of the season when the line was 47 or higher. Let me make sure the number's still at 49. There's been a lot of movement in the games today. 49 and a half, yeah. So, yeah, I'll take the under.
Jay?
Commanders. 13 and a half, a 13-point home dog. Sign me up. I'm not laying that with the Niners here. It is a bounce back game for them, but a 7-point win is still a bounce back game for as far as I'm concerned. Can they come in here and win by 2 touchdowns? Yes. If this game was earlier in the season, I might have did it, but nah, I'm not laying double digits in this spot with the Niners. I can't do it. I'm gonna take the Commanders here. Brissett, he's a veteran. You know, he'll be all right here. He'll be all right.
I think the Niners are playing for clinching home field in the bye week, so I'm going to take them and I'm going to lay the points. I think they just have too much to play for, and just leave it all out on the field in this one. We got up next the Raiders against that Colts. The Colts, right now, if the season ended, they would go to Miami and play the Dolphins in week 1 of the NFL playoffs. Crazy. That is where they are. That Colts. Up against the Raiders, who have looked good. I mean, they dominated Kansas City on the defensive side of the ball. They did. It's tough to take that away from them. Jay, what do you think? That Colts.
Raiders for me here. I know they're coming off the huge upset win, and Big Al's going to tell me it's a bad spot this week. I know.
You know me too well.
You're my guy, man. I know. I'm learning. But I got to take them here. I didn't like what I saw from Indianapolis last week, and I know it could also be a bounce-back spot at the crib, but I'm getting 3 and a hook right now. I'm getting a hook. As far as I'm concerned, at least the book I'm seeing. Give me the Raiders. I like the culture change that's going on there. I know it's not one of my favorite games this week because Big Al's system. It is. I get it. But I lean Raiders in this one. I'm probably gonna leave it alone on Sunday though.
I'm gonna roll with the Raiders also. I just think I don't want to pass up the points. I think that the Raiders at least cover if don't win outright against the Colts. I don't know what's up with the Colts running game. I know last week Moss and Taylor were both out. So, Al, what do you think?
I mean, it's actually not one of my favorite games either, but I will side with Indianapolis. It's just too big of an upset by the Raiders last week. 11.5-point underdogs versus a division rival, Kansas City. Teams off upset road wins over division rivals as 10.5-point or greater underdogs. They've gone 19 and 35 ATS their next game. I've talked about before how Indianapolis is the best bounce back team in the league, and especially off blowout losses. They're 36 and 10 ATS their last 46 off a loss where it failed to cover by 8 or more points, I'll take Indy minus 3.5.
I know.
This. I don't think this is going to make my premium card.
Sometimes it's the system. I get it.
Got the Cardinals up against the Eagles. We know Jay's taking the Cardinals every single week. They are his kryptonite. They are his Patriots. I'm going to jump on the Eagles. I think the Eagles it's time for them to get right. They haven't been right, and I think they've been just so banged up. I think when you take your quarterback and you put him under center and you decide that you're going to hit him with your own guys of 300 pounds or more, and that's your strategy, you're probably going to end up hurting your own quarterback. And I think Jalen Hurts has taken a beating this season, in the last 2 seasons. I think that this, tush push, whatever you call the thing, this is just about as brutal as it can get on a quarterback. It's got to be. You're hitting him with your own guys, and then he's getting hit on the other side by the biggest defensive lineman on the field. I don't see, certain point. But I like the Eagles to get right in this one. I think they take it. Al?
For me, this really isn't a play on Philly. It's more of a play against Arizona. Arizona showed me nothing last week versus Chicago. They've won just 3 games this season. They were blown out by 11 last Sunday. This is their final road game of the season, and they're a double-digit dog. And NFL double-digit dogs off a double-digit loss, they've gone just 18-40 ATS in the final road game. I just think Arizona is going to be a little bit disinterested. I'm going to take Philly.
Jake?
My guy Kyler, questionable. This game's disgusting. I'm going to lean towards the under. The Philly offense hasn't been just clicking on all cylinders, in my opinion. Yes, they did put up some points last week, but I think this is a game where it's going to be an ugly one. A game we're probably all going to turn off early. Probably 17-0 is probably, you know what I mean? It's probably going to be 10-0 for a while. They might score to finally get over the number. It's going to be something along those lines. Lean under and a small lean towards Philly.
So in the comments, someone's saying there's no defense in the NFC that's able to do what the Ravens did to the 49ers. I got news for you. The Ravens defense has been good all season. They haven't been great. They've been good. They have not been great. They have certainly been moved on, beaten, roasted, and all those kind of good things all season long. So believe me, I think there's plenty of teams out there that are more than fully capable, if they play their best game, of doing it. If you can lose to the Bengals and the Vikings, you sure as hell can lose to the Cowboys or the Eagles. That's for sure. Especially if Brock Purdy is injured. Now you got Sam Darnold.
That's your guy, Mitch.
I like the Bucks in this one against the Saints. These guys are playing well. I think the Bucks and the Rams are the 2 teams you really don't want to be facing right now. And I know that, we see it all the time in the NFL playoffs, that these teams with kind of mediocre records come in and give teams fits. And I think the Bucks and the Rams can both do it. This year, the Bucks will actually have a home game if they can win out. They'll be the home team.
Hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Flip the graphic.
Oh, I did. I just didn't. Let me see.
There you go.
There we go. Anyways, yeah, I think the Bucks. The Bucks and the Rams to me are the 2 most scary teams right now.
Mitch, I finally came you around a little bit on Baker, huh?
I won big on him last week, so
You did. You surprised me on the morning show. I remember I was thoroughly surprised. Well, was it this show last week? It might have been this show last week where you caught me by surprise.
I'm on. No, it's just the Bucks in general are playing well.
No,
the whole teams are playing well. Al, what do you think? Bucks and the Saints.
I like the Saints. I mean, especially at +3.
They've done skadoosh.
I know. I look at last week's game as more of an anti-Jacksonville than a pro-Tampa for me. Jacksonville's in the toilet.
Yeah, but the Bucks just waxed them. They came out of the gate and just beat them up.
But everyone's waxing Jacksonville right now.
They had so much potential. I don't know what happened to them.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I like right. I like New Orleans. I like the fact that they're off a loss. They're playing with revenge. Teams off a straight up loss, playing with revenge from a home upset loss in the previous meeting. They're 62.1%. The Saints are 67 and 37 ATS versus 500 or better foes off a win. I think Tampa's win over Jacksonville is a little bit overrated, given how Jacksonville is now on a 4-game Suats losing streak. I'm going to take New Orleans.
See, me and Big Al kind of look at this a little differently. He looks at Tampa, or he looks at the Saints in a revenge spot and likes them. I look at it this time and say, nah.
Because you watched the 26-9 game earlier this year.
So I'm taking Tampa in this one. I am. And it's kind of because I just feel like the Saints get superpowers in the dome, and outside of the dome, they're just pedestrian. I can't trust them in this spot. They got beat they've lost back-to-back road games. Atlanta, the Rams, two teams that are nothing special in my opinion. And even their 2 wins in that span were the Giants and Carolina. So it's not like the Saints have really showed me anything. I like what I've seen from Baker. The Bucks have been a money-making machine really thus far this season. I want to say they're one of the best teams against the number in the NFL. Hold on, let me verify that. I believe they are, though. I'll bring it up in a second, but yeah, I believe they are. So I'm on the Bucks here.
Yeah, the Bucks are 10-5 against the number. They have to be one of the top teams.
Yeah,
I'll take a look.
I'm pulling it up.
Betting tools, NFL.
They're the third. They're tied for first. Miami, Baltimore, Tampa.
On the money line, the Bucks are number 1.
Yeah, they're all 10-5 against the number this season. So there's 4.
But on the spread, actually, I'm only looking at the last 30 days. That's why.
Yeah, spread they're tied for first with Detroit, Baltimore, and Miami.
Yep. And Cleveland.
10-5. Yep.
And then on the money line, they're actually a little bit lower.
Oh, and on the flip side of that, the Saints, they've been as bad as it gets, 4-10-1. They're tied for last with New England.
The 2 worst teams against the money line are the 2 teams that you guys have been backing: the Panthers and the Chargers. Getting smoked.
So in this game here, you got the best ATS team in the NFL at home against the worst ATS team.
Yep, Saints are the worst ATS team. Them and the Patriots. The Jets, Saints, Patriots. Oof.
So, yeah, there you go.
Got the Bears and the Falcons. The Falcons have really gone down the toilet this season in a hurry, too. They did get the win last week against that Colts.
That coach.
That freaking coach. I think the Bears are a better team than what their record is. I think that game against Cleveland, I thought they won that game, to be honest with you. And then last week, they killed the Cardinals.
Fields trying to keep his job.
He looked good. Sometimes it takes a little while. I think, the jury's out on him. The Bears have a lot of picks.
Here's you want to hear my hypothesis of what happens? This is the game where the execs are in the office and they say, yeah, We're trading our first round pick for this guy. This is the game. The Bears, I think they're moving off of Fields. I do. I think regardless, they're moving off of Fields at the end of the season. They're probably going to fire Eberflus and just start clear with all the capital they have. And they're going to trade Fields to this very team right here, the Atlanta Falcons. I see it. This is the tryout game for your new team right here. I don't love this game either, but I'm going to take the Bears. I am. And Soldier. I don't trust the Falcons on the road. And what's the weather looking like in this game too? It just seems like a terrible spot for Atlanta. 37 degrees, dome team on the road, terrible quarterback play. Chicago type game. Give me the Bears. The Bears.
I'm gonna take the Bears. I don't even understand how the Falcons beat the Colts. They did. I didn't have a play on that game, but if I did, it would have been the Colts. But I'm taking the Bears in this one. Al?
Yeah, for me, I just like the scheduling setup for Chicago. They're playing their last home game of the season. Atlanta won its last home game last Sunday. And when I can get a team playing its last home game with a worse record than its opponent, they've covered 57% of the time when their opponent won its last home game the previous week. As you guys mentioned, Chicago's playing really, really, really well. It just took a while, but they're 5-1-1 ATS their last 7. I just don't want to fade them. They showed me something last week against Arizona. I didn't think that was a really good situation for them. They just blew them out from the get-go, so I'll take Chicago.
We got a bad one here. It's the Jaguars who are slumping something fierce up against the Panthers. A couple weeks ago, the Jags had the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Now they're 8-7. And they might not even make the playoffs, tied with the Texans for the lead in the AFC South. And then
look out, man. Back-to-back cashes.
We got the Panthers 2-13, cashed last week against the Packers.
Back-to-back cash.
It was a miracle. They were down by 13. They came roaring back. They somehow managed to blow the game anyway.
Right. Typical Panthers match.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags are real bad, though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How would you think of this one?
The line is now 6.5. Jacksonville, once everyone's darling, everyone's dark horse to come out of the AFC because they might have home field advantage, all that garbage. They're playing the worst team in the NFL at home this Sunday, and they're favored by 6.5 points. That tells you all you need to know about Jacksonville right now. Stick a fork in them. They're done. I'm taking Carolina.
Big Al took the words right out of my mouth. I don't want no parts to deal with Jacksonville. The only thing is I was one of those guys, dark horse Jacksonville, and they might get the number 1 seed. I was one of them, but
no, I've got a lot of friends. I mean, I was never one of them, but I've got a lot of friends I respect who had. I've got one friend. He's got a 40-1 ticket on Jacksonville to win the AFC. All this, or Super Bowl rather. All this stuff. It's like, I mean, they've fallen so far so fast. It all started when Christian Kirk got injured. I mean, that was the end of it, really.
Yep, I hurt my fantasy team in the process. I didn't tell you guys I lost. I ended up losing this week in fantasy in the semifinals. It was tragic. Lamar Jackson, he had Lamar who went crazy. Sad. I'm taking the Panthers here though. Jacksonville, they do bounce back and win it, and keep it afloat, but I'm not laying points with them and how bad they played. Mitch, come on for the first time this year. Join us.
Taking the under. I'm taking the
under. Trying to make it a trifecta.
No, can't do it. Can't get there. Bryce Young, just not my guy. Can't do it.
Oh, shit.
I just can't get there. Not going to bend. I'm not going to. Can't do it. It's kind of like the Spurs. I just can't get there.
Oh, man.
All right, we got the big one, and no flex scheduling this week. For some reason, I don't get it. But Dolphins against the Ravens, how this is not the primetime game is a mystery. My guess is if the reason being is that if the Dolphins lose, that their game next week against the Buffalo Bills will be the primetime game for the AFC East title. And that's why I love the Dolphins in this game. I think they win it outright, money line. I think they win this game. I think they're the better team. I think they match up extremely well against the Ravens. Extremely well. And Lamar Jackson has struggled against the Dolphins throughout his career. He had to leave the game to go shit his pants. Game. Crapped himself. I don't know. Lamar's like from Miami. He's got this thing, you know. He's just intimidated by the Dolphins. Plays poorly against them. Al, what do you think?
I mean, Baltimore won, arguably, the biggest win by any team of the entire season last Monday night. I just think, for me, it's automatic. Off that emotional win, I'm taking Miami in this game. And then, for technical support, consider that in the final 5 weeks of the regular season, teams off upset wins over opponents that had win percentages greater than 750. They've not done well the next week if they were matched up against a winning opponent. Those teams off the upset wins have covered just 35.7%. So Miami all day long.
Sweeping it. I'm on the Dolphins, too. They probably do win this game. I told you guys at the beginning, the Ravens, I'm not overreacting to their win last week. I'm not. The Ravens always smash NFC opponents. Like, just look at it. Like, just look at Lamar Jackson in his career against NFC opponents, especially if you've never seen Lamar. It's just something you can't really prepare for. The Dolphins, though, they're ready for this game. They're an AFC team. It's weird, like, how the conference is, but, like, the teams in your conference, they're more equipped to play you than the teams out of conference. The Cowboys are more equipped to play Philadelphia. The Dolphins are more equipped to play Baltimore. It's just what I'm saying. They're going to give me 3 and a hook in my back pocket. I'm going to take it. I watched that entire game last week, and I'm with Mitch, man. The Dolphins, they were gifted some shit, granted. But in that same breath, they had some key guys that missed extended time in that game, too. Like Waddle missed some extended time. I don't think that pass rush gets the credit it may deserve. Who's the white guy with the long hair? He was balling.
Oh, yeah, the guy who replaced Phillips. Whatever his name is.
He was just making every single play, it felt like. They were physical on the line of scrimmage. I think the biggest part of that game last week was, I know my camera's messing up. I don't know what's going on, but I'm still talking. The Cowboys weren't able to run the football like they wanted to, so it forced Dak into a lot of passing situations. If that happens for the Ravens, I love Lamar, but that's not the type of game that they're trying to play. I'm going to mention this one. I think the Dolphins actually match up quite well. I'm going to grab the points. I'm probably going to take a money line as well.
All right. Got the Titans and the Texans, where the Titans appear to, be hanging in there 5-10. They're pretty much done for the season. And the Texans at 8-7 did not look good against the Cleveland Browns. They looked about as bad as you could look. I'm not sure what happened to Cleveland's kicker in that game, but I'm going to guess he got injured because they just would not kick. It also would have been a lot worse. I like the Texans in this one, though. Going to lay the 4.5 at home. They need this one. They got to have it. They got a chance to win the division. They got a chance to go from worst to first. Out. I think you're muted.
I'm going to take Tennessee in the revenge spot. They lost earlier in the year, 1916, and revenge-minded teams that were upset in the season's first meeting, they've gone 77-42 ATS if their opponent has a 310 or better win percentage, provided that our Revenger is also coming off a straight up loss, which Tennessee is. I'll take the points. Is it still 3.5 or has it moved?
Showing 4.
It's 4.5, 5. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the 4.5 or 5.
Yeah, I see it going up. I see 4s and 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 at Pinnacle, 4.5 elsewhere.
Stroud back?
I don't
think
think
Stroud's
so.
back. I think he is. I think Stroud's back. We're at the crib, season on the line. I'm on the Texans. And I would say bet it now and get in before the news officially comes down that he's back. It's still questionable. I'm telling you, I think he's in. And if we're wrong, we're just wrong, and we're gonna pray that Keenum can get in there and still do it. But I'm about 70% sure that my guy Stroud playing. That's how I feel about it. Hey, season on the line at the crib. Tannehill probably under center. Yeah, for the Titans. Come on, Texans, let's get this done.
We got rematch with revenge. Bills Patriots. Patriots won the first meeting in New England. I don't think they're so fortunate here. I think the thing is that in this one is that the Ravens are playing the Dolphins, and it's like if the Dolphins lose, the Bills win, then that game next week in Miami will be for first place in the AFC East and the home field in at least the first round of the playoffs, if not the second as well. Because that number 2 seed means that you get at least 2 home games. You play in the wild card round, and then the next round you're home again. Al, what do you think of this one?
Last week I played against the Bills. My best bet of the week last week was the LA Chargers. One of the easier covers you're going to have. I like Buffalo to bounce back off of that mediocre performance last week. They're playing with revenge, as you mentioned, Mitch, from that 29-25 loss to New England. I think that was the score in Foxborough. NFL teams that did not win and cover their previous game. They're 53-28 ATS when playing with revenge from a loss as a 7-point or greater favorite earlier in the season. So I think Buffalo just smokes New England here. I think it's a blowout.
Big Al got off them Patriots.
Only took me 16 weeks.
It's gonna sound crazy. I'm taking the over. I don't trust this Bills team. I really want to take the Patriots, but I can't do that. So I'm just gonna trust that they're gonna score some points. In a weird type game, they were able to put some points up last week. Zappy has had this offense looking all right. I'm on the over here. I think this is a little higher scoring than many people may think. 40.5. Let's go for like a 24-20 type ball game. Patriots cover and over.
I got the rare Johnny Bench, Pete Rose baseball there. Those two guys hate each other's guts. Getting them on the same ball, not easy. Usually they won't sign if the other guy's on there. My wife wants me to hold it up, send her friend a picture. I got it. Johnny Bench. There it is. Could make a joke about that, but I won't. For the sake of taste. Jay, who's been hit in the face with more balls, Johnny Bench or Rock Hudson?
I have no idea.
I think Rock Hudson's before his time.
Yeah, probably. We'll just say it's Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson. I was going to make another joke, but I'll refrain.
Got Steelers against the Seahawks. I'm taking the Bills in that last game. I think they smashed the Patriots. In games like that, the Bills usually show up. Steelers against the Seahawks. Steelers tough to figure out, man. They are a tough one to figure out. They beat the crap out of Cincinnati on in a big game on Saturday. Here they are going to Seattle against the Seahawks team, 8-7, playing some pretty good football too. I think the Seahawks. I mean, are they in? Jay, what do you think?
You know what I think. I don't fade Mike Tomlin in this time of year. It's not good for your health. God never had a losing season. It's Clappy versus Mike T. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a classic. It's gonna come down to the wire. I'm getting 3 and a hook in my back pocket. It's really not that complicated for me. I'm on the Steelers.
Yep, the Seahawks would be in if the season ended today. They'd be the 7th seed. Play the Eagles, Rams, Lions, and the Bucks, Cowboys.
The Steelers either winning one of these next two or they gonna tie. They not finishing with a losing record.
I like the Seahawks to win the game. I don't know about covering. I'll take the Steelers in the points. But
The thing is, the Steelers got the Ravens next week. All right, so fuck it. Steelers money line this week.
I'll take the Seahawks then. I'll take the other side.
I gotta roll with Mike T, man. Never had a losing season. Never.
Just watching the Tulane game here. See if this is a fumble or a non-fumble. I like Seattle. I mean, both the Seahawks and the Steelers have identical 8-7 records in the last 6 weeks of a regular season. When both teams come into the game, one game over 500, the home teams have dominated, going 69.5% ATS since 1980, when they laid 3.5.
Jake,
Big this the year?
Is this the year that he has a losing record?
Yes.
I mean,
I got Baltimore next week.
so they're going to be. What are they going to be against Baltimore? 7.5-point underdog. What's the look ahead line? You see it? They might have pulling those down, right?
I don't see one. I don't see one.
Yeah, they pull those down. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
I mean, the chances are.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the money line on this game here? Plus 150. Okay. So.
Come on, Steelers.
got the Bengals and the Chiefs. This is the game that the NFL would not swap out at the 4 o'clock time slot to put the Dolphins Ravens in. They felt this was a better view for their audience because Taylor Swift will be there in Kansas City for the game. It's also a rematch of the last 2 AFC Championship games. It's 1 game apiece in those. I like the Bengals in this one. I think they got a chance to beat them outright. They played the Chiefs extremely well. They've matched up against better Chiefs teams than this. And the Chiefs, I think they have bigger problems than we all can even realize. They have guys that can't catch the ball. They got, the all-world quarterback who just too much pressure. Can't do it. Taking the Bengals. I think they have a chance to win it outright. This is a bad Chiefs team by Chiefs standards. How do you think?
Right there with you. Anyway, Pittsburgh has roughly a 55% chance of winning one of the next 2 games, 45% chance of getting swept and losing both. Both of these teams come in off, upset defeats. I think Cincinnati's was actually worse, getting blown out by Pittsburgh last Saturday. I like the Bengals. Earlier in the year, I mentioned the stat. I'll restate it. Cincinnati is now 14-1 ATS. Their last 15 as an underdog of more than 2 points. Not going to fade it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Chiefs, man. They just make my goddamn head hurt. Is what they do. I just knew they was finna smash the Raiders last week, and boy, was I wrong.
I just knew they weren't going to win. Worst beat I ever had.
They've lost 3 of 4, and they've now lost 3 straight home games too, huh?
The worst beat I ever had.
Is it 3 straight home games?
They're terrible, man.
Lost to the Bills and then lost to Philly. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Bounce back at the crib, man. Come on, Chiefs, man. You know, lost 3 straight. Now this is the Mahomes game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could win the game by 3 or 4. 7?
14, 17.
You're right. I mean, look, they can win by 16 too. You're right.
I don't know. It's gonna happen. Like I just can't. Like
I just think there's also 2 sides to the coin. I mean, since he was blown out by Pittsburgh,
too. You're right. You're 100%.
Since he wants to bounce back as well.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna lean Chiefs though. It's a tough week. Shit.
It is. It's a weird week. It's a weird week.
So weird that we're getting Jared Stidham in this next game. Did you guys see that today?
Yep. Jared Stidham for the Broncos. They really want out on this Russell Wilson. It's a lot of money. I'll tell you. Russell Wilson, if he goes to another spot, he might end up being pretty good, and they're going to regret it.
Sean Payton.
I'm gonna take the Chargers. I'm not betting on Stidham. I haven't taken the Chargers all season. It's my first time taking them. They've been absolutely hideous, and
they've been great without Staley.
They have been great without Staley.
That's fair.
I mean, they should have fired him after the Minnesota game. I don't know why they didn't do it then. Never know what would have happened.
Lesson learned, I guess. I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers too. It's a revenge game. These teams met 3 weeks ago. Final score is 24-7. AFC West Division underdogs of less than 7 points. They're 72-39 ATS when playing with same season revenge. Take the 3 and a hook.
Jay, taking the Chargers.
Not this week. I'm taking Stidham in the Broncos.
Ugh.
I like Stidham. I've been a Stidham guy. Stidham made me some money in the preseason. Like, was it last year? When he was with the Raiders, I think they went 4-0, and I rode him the entire time. Stidham's not bad. There's a reason Sean Payton going to him over Russell Wilson. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like this is
because he's going over to him because Wilson's not his guy.
Trip. No, this is the ego.
It's not his guy. It's not his guy. He didn't. Exactly. He came in. It wasn't. Yeah,
it's an ego trip. So like. This is the week where Sean Payton finna pull it all out his ass. He knows that you can't bench Russell Wilson and not get results, so they're gonna look at you like you're an idiot. You know, they ran the last guy out of town for Russell Wilson quickly. So I think he knows what he's doing here with Stidham. I really, really do. I'm gonna believe it. The Chargers, they're ass. They are. Come on, Denver. Season on the line too, at the crib. taking the Broncos.
Well, the final game for this show, the Packers and the Vikings, Sunday Night Football. They decided not to flex the Dolphins Ravens into the spot either. Probably, I think it's because all the you can only be on X amount of times. I think that I don't know. Next week, Dolphins Bills shapes up for that spot. Is what they're thinking, I guess.
Hear me out. It's actually not that bad of a game.
I agree with you.
I'm not saying it's that bad of a game. It's not that good of a game either. I mean,
of course, Ravens Dolphins at Sunday night would win insane, but
yeah.
But
Dolphins haven't been on a lot of. The Dolphins have not been on primetime much this season.
What time do you think? What time does this? You think this game is going to end?
Which game? This
one.
Oh, probably right around midnight Eastern. 11:30.
Watch the end of the game and then woohoo, New Year's, woo!
Usually there's some college football games going on too.
Yeah. What you doing here, Big Al?
Oh, I'm taking the under. It's 47 at Circa right now. It's been flying. Division games with over-under lines of 44 or more points have gone under 79 and 50 if neither team went under the total in their two previous games. So I'll take the under 47.
I'm taking Green Bay. Now, if they switch to my guy Dobbs, I might be on Minnesota. But if it's Mullins, I'm on Green Bay. Minnesota had their little run, but it's over. They've lost 4 of their last 5 now, and
Packers have been terrible too. I mean, they barely got by the Panthers.
They should have lost to Carolina last week.
So I was gonna say no college football on New Year's Eve this year. Just Saturday and Monday.
No Chick-fil-A bowl. It's like no one's playing anyway.
Right.
It's like
I'm leaning Green Bay here.
I don't know how they're doing the bowls next year with the playoff, but
is it Chick-fil-A bowl? What day is the Chick-fil-A bowl on? It better not be on a Sunday.
That's funny. Let me ask a theoretical question. You guys tell me what you think. Let's say Ohio State beat Michigan. Would Marvin Harrison have skipped the playoffs?
No.
I mean,
hell no. No.
I'm just asking the question because eventually we're going to get that. We're going to get some guy, his team's going to be in the playoffs or whatever. He's just the best player in the country. He's just going to say, I'm not playing.
I don't think
No one's ever skipped. No one's ever skipped the playoff.
I don't think so, big guy. I don't think they'll skip the
I'm just
playoff.
saying.
This is a new thing. This skipping of bowl games is like 5 years old, and it's like this year is the pinnacle of it because of the transfer portal. But I don't think we'll see it going forward. I think we'll see guys transferring out, and there's going to be a lack of depth in some of these games, especially the early rounds.
It's just weird. I mean, it used to be that the players lived to play in these bowl games. I mean, it was everything, and now it's like,
I think we're still going to have this problem for a couple of years. The thing is, it's not going to be as bad in the next couple of years because there's going to be a couple more meaningful games when more teams get into the playoff. But like some of the smaller bowls are still going to have that problem. But like next year, how many teams are in the playoff next year?
12.
So, you know what I mean? That's 6 extra. I'm just throwing the number out off the top of my head, but like that's 6 extra games where I think the players will play in, rather than everybody sitting out every bowl game that doesn't matter. The kids just feel like the game doesn't matter. Nobody's going to watch, so why play? And then, so once one person drops out, the narrative is going to be, well, nobody's playing, so even if I do go out here and play well, they're going to hold it against me. Which I get. So It's catch-22.
All right. Well, week 17 in the books. We will be back, of course, this weekend with roundtable shows, all kinds of stuff going on. We're going to modify our weekend shows going forward, but we'll figure it out. And we'll, of course, you guys will know. But I think we're going to go to a 6-man rotation on the weekends. We'll just have guys sign up for one day or the other or both, and we'll figure it out from there. Kind of like. I think six guys
I like
is
that
plenty.
idea. You get a good enough opinion from 6 guys.
No, 6 is plenty, and it's like it gives everybody a chance with 12 for over the 2 days. That everybody should be able to get on.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's plenty. It is. It's like I think the Sunday show is the better show, at least during football. Saturday is a good show, too. So. But 6 people is plenty. 3 hours was just a little much for me. It's a lot. It's a real lot. Jay was like, I'm done, man. 3 hours. Were you on that day, or was that the day I hosted? It went 3 hours, man.
No, I was on both. Both are long. Shit.
They were long, man. All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Make it a profitable week. And, bringing it home. Getting ready for the playoffs. Football's not over really until February, so we still got a lot of time to play over a month.
Well, it's not even over till June. We've got the USFL and XFL. Are they merging this year?
Yes, they
Is this
are.
the year that they're merging?
Oh, I don't know if it's this year.
I mean, I think it might be, but I haven't heard any news about like which teams and what they're going to do. They probably don't even know yet. Anyway.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. See you guys next week.